Thank you very much for having me here. How many of you have ever bought a property in Spain, Portugal, or Italy? Is there anybody? Does anybody knows where Spain, Italy, or Portugal is? Very good. So, I am David Ray. I work for Idealista. Idealista is, for the ones that don't know, the website is the largest real estate listing website in the 3 countries. Indeed, we are the first one in Spain since 2001. We have enormous data gathered throughout all these years. We are also present in Portugal, and we are in the 2nd place in Italy. So essentially, we have a huge amount of data of the offering and also of the demand. We know what the people who are willing to buy a new house are searching in different locations we are working in. So the question is that we have, sorry if I've given you the back, we have more than 30,000 different locations in this market, this enormous market. Each market has their own behavior. So we have measured the behavior and modeled this behavior because this is essential to create right house price indexes along with right automatic valuation indexes. So the name of the title of the presentation was Human and Artificial Intelligence, and we put in human because human intervention is essential in this process. So just to give a presentation of what we are Idealista Data, which is the business unit in charge of monetizing data within Idealista. We started with this business 6 years ago, and we are doing very well, indeed. And the things we're selling is data itself, evaluation, analysis tool, market reports for developers, for real estate agents, for surveyors, and also automatic valuations. I believe we are the first AVM provider in Spain, and mostly among the first ones in Italy and Portugal. So what is this? We have gathered all this enormous bucket of data in order to model the market. What we can see on the screen is a simulation of how the market is behaving. And we can simulate the behavior of the demand in all these countries hour by hour. So one thing, but the most important thing here is data. Without data, you cannot have a proper artificial intelligence tools. So what we have done in Spain is gather all the sources we have at hand, not only our data, but also public data, not only structured data, but also unstructured data. We can see this is Madrid. I don't know if you can see the Real Madrid Stadium is at the bottom of the screen. This information comes from public registry. It is the cadastre. But we are also capturing some information from the Geographic Institute of Spain, which compose the kind of point cloud that all the surface of Spain. With this data, we have been able to match with the portal data along with the spatial data. And we are about to release a huge data set having all the solar potential of every rooftop in Spain. So the question is, well, we have automatic valuation, but the automatic valuation can be done using different approaches. So we have 3 approaches, or there are more approaches, but essentially we handle 3. One is comparable, this is the typical one, the former one. Another one is based on indexes, but you have to do the right indexes, and this is quite a challenge. And the third one is based on machine learning. Sometimes the best choice is different depending on the area. And this is the valuation of each and every property in Spain, in Madrid. The reddish the color is, the more expensive the property is. So if you can see the picture, there are many places, there are many polygons, there are many areas, and some areas doesn't behave homogeneously. So we cannot treat every area as a single thing. So this is an example of Valencia, and this is why we move from a typical AVM. Our AVM is a blend of different approaches, so we select the best approach in each case. And the other one is hyper-granular KPIs. we are no longer using area metrics, but we are using property metrics. What kind of metrics we are delivering? Well, price, expected price in the future, liquidity, but for each and every property in Spain. So in Spain we have Spain, Portugal, and Italy. But in Spain, I will talk more about Spain because we are based in Madrid, so I know better this market. This is what we have done for Valencia. This is the gross yield of residential properties in the center of Valencia. As we can see the information from the past year for each cadastral parcel. We can see what we are meeting today, but we are forecasting what is going to happen or we expect to happen next year. But all these metrics, and we have about roughly 200 metrics based on the information we have from the different sources. We have been able to model each property, and not only for the past, for the present, and for the future. So when I talk about human intervention, well, we have artificial intelligence, this machine learning, this data science, this enormous data set. But we need to put in the human intelligence here. So what we sell is essentially for real estate agents and for investors' funds. And this is a use case for an investor that wants to invest roughly 300 million euros in these 3 countries. The investment strategy is based on several assumptions that we can be here. So our system is able to aid this channel. But we leave the human to decide some of the decision that is going to be made along the journey. So first, the system will recommend you the places that meet these previous assumptions. Well, this is not real. It's not the tool. If you want to see the tool in real time, you can go over our booth. But for the presentation's sake, I extracted the pictures to be more beautiful. So the system will select 6 areas, 2 in each country. For each area, they will give you the fit with the assumptions you given to the system, and also in what state of the real estate market cycle is this area. If you see the picture, there is some words like peaking, rising. This is the stage where the location is. So for each location, we can see all the information we have at hand. This is the spatial data, the cadastral data. Cadastre in Spain is kind of land registry. We have many metrics, not only for the offering, and it is something that differential from ourselves because we know the demand. We know the demand in the different stages of maturity. When I mean maturity, I mean from the search to the interest, when I click on the ad and see what's like the ad, the pictures and so on. And if I'm interested in this property, I will send you a message to the owner. So we can measure all the interest in the different stages of this interest. We can also see some socio-demographics and so on. We can see as well the different transaction that has been made in the past 2 years, and also the current offering and the past offering. With all this information, we can extract some quantitative indicators that can give us an idea of the kind of investment we're going to make. On the left, we can see the price index with the forecasting expected for the next year. At the very bottom on the left side, we can see something called the trajectory of the stage of the micro market is. We can see the traversal from the bottoming, rising, peaking, and declining. On the right side, we can see the beta is kind of volatility, or in other words, is the risk we are taking if we are investing in this area. Finally, the system will recommend us several properties where to invest. And we can channel this proposition to the ads we have already in the website. So finally, when we have made the investment, we can monitor the value every month of this portfolio at a very, very, very low level. We can see the facade of the building, we can see other properties in the same area, and so on. We can track the historical prices. So essentially, to wrap up, what we have now is a very nice data coverage in the 3 markets. We have a very nice data product. We have moved from the typical AI or comparables automatic valuation to a very, very bright or smart decision of what method has to be made for its location, and also very granular KPIs, not for areas, but for properties. And finally, we introduce some quantitative theory or mechanisms or devices to make the decision more based on figures or on facts rather than on insights on things like that. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any question, please make me the question you.
Okay, time for 1 or 2 questions. Really good presentation, really interesting markets. Nice to have perspective from Europe, but outside the UK. Yeah.
Sorry, how are you monetizing your website?
Well, we have several ways of monetizing this information. Essentially, we are selling this information through a tool to the real estate agents, but also we are selling data or AVM services to servicers, funds, banks, and sometimes we are selling this information in order to estimate the potential income of the people that live on certain locations. So not only we are selling to the real estate market, but also we are selling to other markets.
Hello, from Estate Guru, leading marketplace for short-term loans in Europe. I have a question. Are you planning to enter other countries, or only these 3 countries will be your main market? Thank you.
Well, we would be more than happy to enter in other countries, but now, so far, we have built the data set for the 3 countries. We roughly have the 80% of our income from Spain, and now we're developing Portugal and Italy, and maybe in 3 years' time we are thinking of entering other countries. But we will do it in the future, for sure.
One question there.
What would you say is your single biggest data set predictor of future value? An alternative data set beyond the obvious macroeconomic and locational factors that you use? You said you had 200 data points. Is there one in particular? Without giving the game away.
Sorry, I didn't get the question right. My English is not so good.
Which single data point is the biggest predictor of future value?
Okay. Well, to be honest, the most predicted variable is the location. Another one is the square meter. So with these 2 variables, you can get the 80% of the valuation, roughly. But essentially, it is 2. The other one is split in many, many variables. But the question is to have the most thorough data set you can have. You can get.
Okay, time for one final question. Any more hands? No? Okay. Let's thank David. Great presentation. Thank you.